Welcome back. We want to turn now to the pandemic and some big news today for people who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The company now saying it has a booster for its one-shot vaccine that provides a strong immune response. J&J says the second dose should be given 2 or 6 months after that initial shot to boost protection. That news could impact the nearly 15 million Americans who got the J&J shot. Maybe you are one of them. Right now, 55% of Americans are fully vaccinated, and you'll notice here from these numbers on your screen, that number much higher for people over the age of 65, 83% of that age group fully vaccinated. J&J has now handed over that data to the FDA to make an informed decision about boosters and whether or not people will need one. And joining us now is Dr. Mercedes Carnathan, a professor of preventive medicine at Northwestern University. Doctor, appreciate your time. Let's start with J&J. The second shot increases protection, they say. Is the FDA more likely to approve this shot because it's a second dose versus the third dose that they shot down for Pfizer?
My understanding of the FDA deliberations are that they're focused solely on the efficacy of the vaccines and ensuring that people are getting the protections that they need. I think this is very welcome news regarding the J&J vaccine because we've heard less about it, and we knew from the outset that it was slightly less effective. It certainly is still an important tool that we have for those people who can only receive one dose, but I know for the very many adults who received the J&J, I'm sure they're very relieved to hear that one additional dose would put them up at the levels of protection that both the Pfizer and the Moderna we're seeing.
Let's get into the weeds a little bit on the decision that the FDA did not approve that booster for the Pfizer. They cited there wasn't enough data to determine the efficacy at this point. But is there harm in a third shot, whether it's Pfizer or Moderna, or a second shot if it's J&J, if it does in fact offer some additional protection, and if nothing else, a little bit of peace of mind for people who are willing to get it?
You know, I think that the decision was really driven by the data and where we were seeing dangerous breakthrough infections. And dangerous breakthrough infections occur in those who are older adults who had less of an immune response to begin with from the initial dose, and those individuals who are immunocompromised or who would suffer very severely were they to contract a breakthrough infection. I don't see it as a disappointment or even a surprise that at this time boosters were not approved for the vast majority of individuals who completed the dosage schedule of the vaccine that they had. And that's because most of the breakthrough infections that we've seen have been relatively mild. And so I think it's critically important not to act out of fear, but to act based on the data. And I believe that the decisions made right now about who should get boosters, I believe that to be the correct decision, because where we really need to focus our attention to have an impact is on those Americans who haven't yet had even their first doses.
Let me ask you one more question that I continue to hear about a booster, if in fact it's necessary down the road. And I hear what you're saying. If a person got J&J, could they get the Pfizer booster? Or if they got Pfizer, could they get Moderna? What's the data show on that?
Right now, the only boosters that have been discussed and that are currently being discussed are the boosters for the Pfizer and for the J&J. While I have not seen evidence that there are significantly negative side effects if you were to mix and match vaccines, that's not indicated at this time. I really think that it's in everyone's best interest to really follow the science and be patient. We've made such great headway, and to the extent that we can continue to follow the science, we can offer the most protection to the most individuals.
And focus on the unvaccinated, which continues to be the priority right now. Dr. Carnathan, appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.